I have to give props to John Boyega on how he has been handling all the attacks from Reylos and others in such an epic fashion. This all started with a simple tweet, joking about the so-called Star Wars romance between Rey and Kylo. He wasn't attacking Reylos, he was simply expressing criticism, showing how he feels about certain choices made in the story of the sequel trilogy, which is something he hasn't been able to freely do until now. Some people mistook his silence through these years of working on the Disney trilogy as acceptance of the decisions Disney and Lucasfilm have made. But he literally couldn't say anything because it's in the contract. Movie studios are pretty strict about that. The rest of us have all had the opportunity and freedom to express our opinions over the course of these 6 years. And now that the movies are done, John Boyega can freely speak his mind too. And he is. And it seems he's in agreement with a lot of people who dislike the choices made in the sequel trilogy regarding Rey and Kylo, the treatment of his character, and the fact that the trio of Rey, Poe, and Finn have hardly spent any time developing their relationship since the first movie. Many agree that his character is woefully underutilized and has been relegated to being little more than a sidekick. It's such a disservice to the character of Finn, who in my opinion had the most interesting backstory out of all the new characters. And honestly, John's disappointment with his character to me is very understandable. I, like many others, were misled by the marketing in The Force Awakens. I thought Finn would turn out to be the Jedi, and that idea of a defecting stormtrooper becoming a Jedi was awesome. But Disney made sure that everyone's expectations of this sequel trilogy were subverted, including most people's expectations that Finn would have an impressive story arc. But as it turned out, his character barely has anything to do in the movies other than to be infatuated with Rey. The Last Jedi was the worst affront to the treatment of his character. It seems Rian Johnson just wanted him out of the way the whole movie. Nothing he did mattered to the story, and it is truly a tragedy. That is not in keeping with the spirit of Star Wars. Han and Leia were just as important to the story as Luke was in the original trilogy. The same cannot be said for the dynamic of the trio in the Disney trilogy. I thought it was interesting too how some people blurred the lines between fact and fiction when attacking him, making fun of him for yelling Rey's name all the time, when that's how the story was written, and that's how he was directed. He is, after all, an actor who is portraying a fictional character. They also implied he was jealous that his character didn't have a romantic connection with Rey. Again, he is an actor playing a role written by people who obviously had no idea what they wanted to do with any of these characters, Finn especially. And if people are equating the emotions that are being displayed on the screen as actual emotions that the actors feel for each other, they are just being deluded. So to attack him at all is unfair. He is just as much entitled to his opinion as the rest of us. And if people aren't interested in knowing his thoughts about these movies, there's an easy way to make sure that doesn't happen. Don't follow him on Twitter or Instagram. Leave the man alone. It's bizarre that so many people are having such an adverse reaction to John Boyega's disappointment with his character, and with the choices made with the other main characters in the sequel trilogy in general. After all, many Star Wars fans, especially those who love the original trilogy, have gotten used to actors like Harrison Ford, who has never been very fond of his character, and who is famously known for not showing the greatest warmth towards Star Wars or the fans in general.
Very delicate. A long time. Yeah. So I have a sharp. That's bad.
But that didn't keep us from respecting him and the contribution that he made to the story that we love. All in all, I thought John Boyega's latest response to all this negativity was truly epic. The editing skills were on point in his Instagram video where he seems to dance fight all the negative tweets and comments away. I love it. Brush it off and move on. He's a great actor with so much ahead of him. I look forward to what's next for him in the future, but also in regards to his character Finn. I'm also interested to see what's next for him. His story seemed to be just beginning at the end of the sequel trilogy. He's had no resolution to his character like Rey has. He has no family, no name for that matter, and has only now discovered he's Force sensitive. We'll see what happens for Finn in the future, and I will of course share my opinions, John, feel free to keep sharing yours too. I hope you enjoyed this video. While you're here, leave a like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on John Boyega's response to his critics. Thanks so much for your support, and as always, have a very nerdy day.